narcissists, in my opinion, they do have a soul. We all have a soul, but they have cut themselves off from source to the extent that they have isolated themselves. They resonate on a lower vibration. They resonate in a more demonic aspect, dark karma, and that effectively cuts them off from everyone else. It isolates them, and the way that they act really does show everything from the black-eyed narcissistic rage to the selfishness to not taking any accountability to the point where they will smear your name. They will use any type of power, financial, legal, social, in order to abuse you, to make you capitulate to their control where they can further abuse you. And in that aspect, I agree with what he's saying. I dealt with the spirit of Jezebel. I saw that. And for me, it's narcissistic abuse recovery. This whole conversation is a spiritual battle for me. Coach Randy, what do you think?
No, I absolutely agree. It's definitely, it's a spiritual warfare. You have Christ consciousness and you have Satan consciousness. At the end of the day, Satan came to lie, cheat, steal, and destroy. This is what narcissists do. I believe at the end of the day that, the whole idea around souls, people think that souls and spirits are like Casper the ghost. It resides in us and it's this Casper the ghost type thing. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think your soul is what makes you uniquely you. And that's your consciousness, right? Your consciousness and that connection to your emotional intelligence is that's your soul. That's what makes you uniquely you. So do they have a soul? Yes, but they choose to use that for evil. At the end of the day, a lot of narcissism is really about choice. They're choosing to lie. They know that lying is wrong. They know cheating's wrong. We're not fucking kids out here. We all knew this in kindergarten, but they're choosing it. And this is a evil consciousness collectively that just does the same thing that Satan does. Okay, so no playbook, no nothing. This is just black and white for me. Spirit of the Jezebel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that. Scotty, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I would agree with Randy. Well, two things. The evil is real. It's interesting that we're talking about Dinesh tonight, and that's because over a year ago, I put a link in the StreamYard chat. If you open that up, it's a YouTube video, and it's called "Why Did the Narcissist's Eyes Turn Black?" And I was subscribed to him during my healing journey when that popped up, the day that it came up, and I was one of the first people to leave a comment. And you should put it up on the screen.
I already have it.
Go ahead and pull it up.
Those black eyes are crazy. And the thing about that, when I was growing up, 17 to 22, 23, man, I hung out with some really, really scary people. And I've seen some really, really angry people in my life that don't have that dead, empty, evil, demonic black hole in them as a narcissist does when you see those black eyes. It is so just unsettling. Yeah.
So this is my comment a year ago. It's got 1.7 thousand thumbs up. This comment has more thumbs ups than my videos get. 245 replies, and like 99% of them are all in agreement. So this is real. And what I said was, I've witnessed this. Nothing is more terrifying. You realize an actual demon is communicating their hatred towards you. And I find it interesting that Lady Virgo just said in the chat, she said she's finalized with a long divorce of this entity-filled coward. That's what she said, an entity-filled coward. Temple Manning says that he just got divorced as well, is final from the demon, but now I'm dealing with the financial aftermath. So you've already had two comments, and we just got started streaming, about an entity-filled coward and a demon, and now we're looking at an old comment of mine about black eyes. Most people, I was just telling a friend, I went to lunch yesterday with somebody, and I was explaining some of these things because he also has been through it as well, and we were sharing some stories, and otherwise you can't really share these stories with people because they don't get it. But this whole thing it's literally like out of a horror movie. It's something that nobody could really put their finger on unless you've been through it. I mean, really, somebody's eye turning black. Yeah. It's horrifying.
No, it's real. It is horrifying. It's the rage that gets directed at you from someone who is in that state where all of their energy is put into not taking accountability for their own shit, not taking responsibility for something that they've done. Go ahead, brother.
The kicker in that though is it's not just somebody, man. It's somebody who you thought loved you and cared about you. That's kind of the, you know, the kicker. And and only people that, again, who have suffered this type of abuse and seen that demon would understand it, because it's so, like I said, I've seen people angry with a little bit of a black eye. You know, we understand that it dilates and all these things. But when you go through, when you see it from somebody with MPD and you feel that rage, that hatred, and you see it soulless, it's scary. That's all I can say is it's scary.
Kanita says when their voice changes, that's when the demon starts talking to you. It's amazing the similarities. You know, you have all these people who have lived different experiences and dealt with different people, and they all come together and reinforce the what we're saying. What this is not a group of like millions of people coming in together and all conferring on the same bullshit story. These are individual experiences with different narcissists, and who have all had relatively the same experiences, fears, traumas. This is spiritual warfare. There's definitely a demonic spirit that inhabits the people with this disorder. Immortal Coil, what do you think? What is your perspective on this, sir?
To say that a narc is soulless in the literal sense of the word, that's untrue, but that's more an indicator of the path that they have chosen, you know. And if you want to get like super deep about this, like the sort of like soul agreements we make with people, once again, we enter into relationship with these people partially because we're unaware. You know, we think we're being loving, and we think that we have an opportunity to love somebody with all our heart and our soul, but this person is incapable of receiving love, and this person cannot sustain themselves off of love. So what they need to do is knock you off your high vibration and bring you down to something that they can literally sustain themselves with, because they have no means of creating that internally. So they have to parasitize off of other people energetically. And in that in that way, they're very much like the incubus and the succubus of lore. And especially if we're in an intimate relationship, that comes through definitely with intimate interactions with these people. You know, you're doing it for one reason with all your heart and soul, and they're doing it with all the what do you call them, hoovering hobgoblin intent, right?
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, that's what I was trying to getting around to. Like we were talking about that last night on your channel, Coil, Savage Spirituality. You know, it's when you commit yourself to terrorizing others, to being so selfish that you destroy. That is not being a part of the collective. We as a family on this planet, and a family in spirit as well. You are you are disconnecting yourself from everyone and everything. And by doing so, you become a parasite. You feed off of others, and that is what supplies the narcissistic shell, is external validation. Thank you very much, Coil.
Yeah, well, we're trying. Oh, I'm sorry, real fast.
No,
we're trying beings, mind, body, and spirit. There are real energetic dynamics that occur between people. Like you can feel it when people are sucking your energy out of you. You can feel it when people are hitting you in an emotional center. You know, those are real actual things. So we're in a day and age now where we're beginning to be able to measure those sort of interactions and give names to them. Like new sciences are being devised. So this whole like narcissistic psychology, that's all going to be a part of it. You know, we're really on the ground floor of something really important. So thank you, sir.
And it is important when it comes to healing and it comes to understanding. And Coach, like Randy's been coaching. You know, I just started, but he's been doing it for a long time now. And like how many times do you see anyone working in the mental health professional industry come through that have been through a narcissistic abuse?
All the time. I mean, at this point, I'm coaching 6 different psychologists. Well, 3 psychologists, 3 therapists, right? And a lot of the times, I mean, it's one of those things you just don't know until you know, right? Like until you've gone through it and you're actually able to put the definitions, the patterns, the cycles into that knowledge and watch it play out and understand how it really is a slow poison over time, you just don't get it. So, you know, when these people, they contact me and they want, you know, some guidance or whatever, they'll never tell me, you know, what their profession is until the very end. They want to make sure that it's almost like they're vetting me at first, right? And then as we go
Right.
through it, you know, they finally start to have these aha moments, and then they'll finally tell me. But look, at the end of the day, you can be the most. Richard Gannon just did a video about this just not too long ago. You can be the most brilliant mind. You can have the most ironclad emotional intelligence. But if you have a tie with a narcissist, within 3 months, your brain can be twisted and melted to a point where it's irreversible if the damage is already done. That's how sinister this type of behavior and patterns are when they start weaving those webs. Remember, it's all about deception. This is what it is. It's all about deception. And that is why it gets so tangled into the brain. So, you know, it's man.
It's insidious. It's a parasitic and it's insidious. Before we move on to the next video, I have to recognize. Or did you want to say something, Scotty?
I don't want to derail where you're headed. Keep your place, but I wanted to say that you were talking about the soul and how I wanted to just bring up this Bible verse. It's Genesis 2:7. It says, "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." So that's 3 parts. The dust is the flesh. The breath is the spirit. He breathed into his nostrils, and then man became a living soul. So as Randy was saying, the soul literally is our essence. It's who we really that's our true self. And the breath is the spirit. And I believe that that's the part that God, like, we don't have to consciously breathe. Meditation is it's a spiritual practice because it's controlling the breath, but we don't have to think about it. That's like literally how God keeps us alive. And when we take our last breath, we give up the ghost, as it says. When Jesus was on the cross, he gave up the ghost. And that was when he took his last breath. So the ghost, the breath, the spirit is all one and the same. The soul is the essence that we are, and the flesh is what it lives in until it fails. And some say that the narcissist has no soul, but it probably does. It's just, well, Sean Howerton, actually, if you remember, she called them black souls. Yeah. So their soul is, they're not light. They're not people of light anymore. They've gone dark. And so
that's the way it is. I mean, there's a God. If you believe in God, you have to believe in Satan. And remember, you're absolutely dead on, because that is the essence of us, which is I think, therefore I am. The conscious mind is the essence of you. That's why always being in the present is so important, right? What is the enemy trying to do? He's trying to confuse you. When they confuse you, it's taking you out of your logical conscious mind, which is you, right? So that is the essence of you, the conscious mind.
Well, and even spirit, inspiration, and respiration, they all share a same etymological root word.
Interesting.
And it's all, it's all interrelated. Yeah. And I have no doubt that it goes back to the Latin version of the verse that you read there, Scott. It's cool stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
Genesis 2:7. Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Scotty.
I will not comply. I will